This is Jonathan Turley. He is a legal expert, George Washington law professor, and a Fox News contributor on whether or not Abrego Garcia has in fact had due process. Number 45.
Our Abrego Garcia spoke out today. Watch this.
They have to facilitate his return. And once they do so, they are most welcome to put up any of this evidence in court. But to justify their own admitted mistake by trying to find all these justifications, reasons, dirty laundry is just really saddening, disingenuous, and frightening.
Well, she looks like she's just out of law school, God bless her. But is it just dirty laundry, Jonathan, that we're talking about here? I mean, these are pretty serious matters. You know, questions of domestic abuse, findings of MS-13 affiliation, and so forth.
Yeah, the point is that I think mature minds have got to prevail ultimately in this. He has had due process in the sense that he had an earlier hearing that found evidence that he was an MS-13 member that was based on a confidential source and other information presented by the government. It went on appeal. That ruling was upheld, but he was allowed to stay in the country due to the threats that he said were coming from an opposing gang and under a special rule that may no longer be applicable. So there was a process. Now, that doesn't mean that the administration should have brought him back. But if he's brought back, I don't see any basis in which he could stay here for very long. I think the administration has very good cause to go back and to really show that the original order is based on conditions that no longer exist.
Yeah, come back and...
Now, apparently there are some more Democrats that intend to go down to El Salvador. And here's what James Comer said. He's chair of the Oversight Committee, number 32.
You also, as chairman, have some duties and responsibilities, and that is signing off on travel for members of Congress who maybe want to go to El Salvador to meet with people who have been deported. What's your take on this? What are you going to do with this?
Well, I had two members of the House Oversight Committee, Garcia from California and Frost from Florida, and they sat there silent during the entire Biden investigation, during the entire investigation of Border Patrol and Mayorkas that we had in the Oversight Committee. If anything, they were obstructive. They weren't concerned. They showed no concern for the lack of our national security or the violation of our southern border security laws. But then this one person that the liberal media picked up on that was deported to El Salvador, they went crazy before it came out that he was actually an MS-13 gang member, and they wanted me to authorize funding at my committee's expense to send them down to El Salvador and meet with this person for a photo op and to have margaritas and enjoy the sunny weather. And I obviously denied their request. We're not going to spend a penny of taxpayer dollars for liberal Democrats to continue their stunts to try to appease the radical left-wing base when the American people spoke loud and clear on Election Day. They want our southern border secured, and they want criminal illegals deported, and that's exactly what Donald Trump's doing.
And about whether Mr. Abrego Garcia is a gang member, this is what the Maryland Sheriff Jeff Gawler said, number 42.
What do you make of all this? This is the same Democrat Senator Van Hollen who voted along with 36 or so Democrat senators against the Laken Riley Act, walked out of President Trump's joint session address when the president talked about women murdered by illegal aliens. What do we know about Garcia?
Well, it's absolutely appalling that this is where Senator Van Hollen and many Democrats, the many that are down there right now, want to focus their efforts on an individual who certainly has MS-13 ties, and I 100% believe, 1,000% believe him to be an MS-13 member from everything I've read out of the police reports and what has been released. This isn't just an average person on the street. This is somebody that the police have looked at and been able to tie, and two immigration judges have tied him to MS-13. This just isn't a victim of circumstance, of unfortunate circumstance. This is an individual who should not be in our country, who was ordered for removal, and the mistake being apparently he couldn't be removed to El Salvador. I agree with one of the earlier guests I saw in an earlier program. If that's the case, then take him to the embassy in El Salvador, do the paperwork, and move him somewhere else. But he does not need to be in this country victimizing the citizens here.
How deadly is MS-13? Representative Jason Smith went to El Salvador on another mission. He went to that prison where they house MS-13 gang members. And he said one of them told him that he was in the United States illegally and killed 6 people while he was here. Number 44.
House Ways and Means Committee Chairman, Missouri Congressman Jason Smith. Mr. Chairman, you and a couple of Republican lawmakers just visited El Salvador, and you toured the prison holding the deportees. Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer rejected House Democrats' request for a congressional delegation to go to El Salvador. But I do want to hear about your trip. Do you think that Democrats should be able to see what's going on, or do you agree with Mr. Comer, Chairman Comer, that enough is enough with the taxpayer-funded trips?
The reason why we were down there was a trade delegation for Central and South America. If you've noticed, the Ways and Means Committee is in charge of all trade policy, and of course, there's a few things called tariffs that's being discussed globally. And so we were meeting with a lot of the finance and trade ministers. But while we were in El Salvador, we also wanted to see the prison. There's been a lot of discussion of whether it's safe, what is it like, and so the El Salvador government allowed all of us to go through the facility. And I'll tell you, going through that facility, I've been through numerous U.S. prisons. This is much different. This is a terrorism confinement center. And while we were there, there was 2 different MS-13 gang members that we spoke to within their cells. One was originally deported from Highland Park, California, who told us that he had killed 6 people while in the United States. And then there was another one deported from Northern Virginia. These are terrorists according to Donald Trump's designation, and they're in the right place right now in El Salvador.
If we were to give every single illegal alien the kind of supposed due process that Abrego Garcia is supposed to get, despite what he's already had, Dana Parino of Fox said it would take around 28 years to deport all illegals that Biden let in. Number 43.
So I understand that it's hard to say that you're sorry. And I have a toddler, and I know what it's like when their face is covered in chocolate and they say, I didn't eat the cookies. I didn't eat the cookies, Mama. But that's what's going on here. They need to slow down and follow the process. We're not against deporting people. Just get it right.
You want everybody. You brought them all in, and now you want to do it one by one. There was a lot of mind reading in there. Nobody's freaking out about this except the Democrats.
That's not true.
In the last decade, we deported about 350,000 people a year. So if, Jesse, at that rate, it would take 28 years just to get the illegal immigrants that Biden let in.
28 years. 28 years to get the illegal aliens that Biden let in at that rate.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.